I wanted to discuss with you the moment in your career that you are currently undergoing. It's been an interesting period of time. You've had close to 80 games unbeaten streak. The latest tournament did not go your way and you stopped this streak. But before that, it was very, very impressive. How would you like describe this streak, and whether you adapted your style or did something to deliberately to remain unbeaten as long as possible, because you are known to be a very attacking player, a very dynamic player, and to go 80 games without losing must require some more cautious approach.
It was 72, but so first of all, attacking players who had unbeaten streaks, it exists. And like, for instance, Stahl had 2 huge streaks, one of 90 games plus, but probably more towards the end or second part, at least, of his career. So where he was playing maybe more solidly, and what I've been doing. So also this time, like my openings, quite often I would switch to Queen's Gambit Accepted, or like, also with white maybe taking a bit less risk. In a way, damaging it in a sense that sometimes I would not make the most of my opportunities. I had few winning positions along the way that I didn't win. But of course, in general, I was playing very well. If you have to compare, because in the past I had once such unbeaten streak, so not a bit less long, like 67 games in 2016. But the difference there was I was winning basically 1 every 2 games. So it's a streak where I actually crossed 2,800 and won like maybe 60, 70 points along the way. So it is a bit different this time, because in the end I won maybe 20 points with that streak, maybe even a bit less, because I was making a lot of draws, especially against some lower rated players. So the streak was good. And generally, when it came down to these Grand Chess Tour events, I was playing relatively well. And this WR chess, also pretty good chess, but still not making the most of my opportunities. And at some point, it becomes a bit of a problem. Like when you have many games unbeaten, you lose this feeling of losing, but at the same time, it hinders you a little bit in making the most of your chances. And like, notably, I actually had 25 draws in a row, which is not such a good record, even if it's part of the unbeaten streak.
You have felt this pressure after some time that you are drawing so many games, right?
Actually, not really, because the draws were starting from the start. So like from the start, okay, I won 3 games. And then in the next 45 games or 50, I won maybe 4, and it was just in one single event in Austrian Bundesliga where I won against a few lower rated players. But other than that, I was just making draws. I started winning again after I won against Ding in this final round of the Grand Chess Tour, which helped me qualify to next year Grand Chess Tour. And then in Olympiad, I won some games. I was actually maybe more free because I actually had won a game instead of making all draws. So this was more of a freeing moment, and it was well into the streak, because I think in Olympiads I was already well over 50 games unbeaten. And yes, for my playing style, of course, it's a bit more conservative. So, I mean, I'm still a very dynamic player, but I would say that sometimes it happens that I stop the fight at an earlier point than I would have stopped like 10 years ago. So
what does it mean?
Simplifying to a draw, basically, or sometimes simplifying to a draw, or sometimes just choosing the lines that gives me a small lasting advantage instead of a huge fight. Stuff like that, stuff that you do when you're younger, and that comes more naturally when you're younger, and that's somehow with experience, and also with experience playing in top level tournaments where every sort of mistake is duly punished. You take a bit less risks, and it can create these situations. But of course, I still love dynamic chess. I mean, my very last game with Arjun showed that. So
crazy game. Yeah.